Hey guys, Keaton here. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to fakie. Now, to fakie simply means to ride backwards. That's all it is. It's just got a fancy name to it. Riding fakie is a very simple trick to learn. There's a couple of tips that will help you get better at faking faster, but it's just a thing of repetition. Faking was one of the first tricks that I learned because there's no bunny hops involved. You're simply riding backwards. Alright, so where fakies come in handy is after you've done a 180 or a trick that you've landed backwards, you can continue to ride backwards until you need to then hop out. Once you get into the more advanced stages, faking can be used to ride fakie and hit different grinds from fakie position, or even ride fakie and do tricks while in fakie. But today I'm going to be teaching you obviously just how to fakie. So the best way to learn how to fakie is finding ground that is just slightly sloped. Where I'm at right now, it seems flat, but it's actually there's just the slightest slope. Whereas if I stand here on my scooter, I will naturally roll backwards a little bit. Obviously I didn't fly down, but as you can see, that's the direction I was going. So that's what you want. Just somewhere that you will be able to roll backwards without necessarily having to do much. You want to stand here, and all you need to do is just take a single push backwards and see how long you last. Now obviously I didn't get far there, and that's probably what will happen to the most of you. You'll probably want to instantly fall off because it's a very strange feeling when you're learning how to fake. It doesn't feel natural. Obviously you're not going in the right direction. So there's one tip which I will provide you, which is something called fakie hops. Now, fakie hops are something that you want to use to learn fakies. However, they're something that you want to also completely disregard once you get to the point where you don't need to use them anymore. Any trick that includes doing a fakie, if you fakie hop, that kind of disregards the whole fakie, and it almost disregards the whole combination of tricks because you've essentially cheated in a way. But to learn, this is a good way to do it. So, a fakie hop is when you ride backwards and you lift just your back wheel up ever so slightly and put it back down again. It will look a little something like this. So the reason that you do this is because as soon as you feel yourself slightly becoming off balance, you just rebalance yourself. If you're falling off this way, you will pull the scooter that way, and then you will just naturally balance yourself out again. By doing constant fakie hops like I did, there's no chance that you will really come off. But over time, you want to naturally just decrease your fakie hops ever so slightly as you get better at faking. So it might get to a point where it looks a little something like this. Only fakie hop when you were losing your balance, and that is literally it. Try learning fakie. If you find yourself coming off quite easily, fakie hop, but then slowly decrease your fakie hops over time as you get better at faking. I'm now going to give you a good example of a long balance fakie so that you can see where you can hopefully get to. As you can see, I can turn this way, I can turn that way. I can control it just how I would control myself whilst riding forwards. The only difference is that by using your arms to turn right, you actually turn left. To turn left, you'll turn right. So it will be a little bit different in that sense. You do need to learn how that kind of goes, but there's no real tips for that. That will just come naturally. Your body will already know which direction to spin the bars as you come off centered. Alright guys, that was a nice and simple one for you. Get out there right now, try a fakie. You will get it relatively quickly. Go to my tutorial for 180s. You will find that here. That way you can 180 in, and then you can balance that fakie as well, and then you can even 180 out. I teach you both those things in that video. So these three tricks, 180ing in, faking, and 180 out, pretty much all essentially one trick at the end of the day, but there are 3 components of them. Now you'll be able to learn how to do all of them. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So, kind regards, Keaton.